Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 349. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. It is beautiful again. Sunshine, blue skies. I feel like I keep saying the same thing as I open each week. It's gorgeous, and I have no idea what I'm going to be rambling about today. I have been thinking about it all morning. I'm like, what would I share? And I get nothing. And then I think of an idea. I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. And so I've one thing printed out to the side here, which I may or may not read. We'll see. But right as I was getting ready to start, I pushed record, and I was just sitting here for a moment, just breathing and centering. And I just heard the words, practicing presence. And I'm like, oh, are we still doing that? Are we always going to be doing that? Practicing presence. So, yeah. So, where to go with that? Right here, apparently. I have all these thoughts of, this is what I've gone through this morning. I have all these thoughts of different examples and stories I could share from this past week of what the week has been like, and trusting when I share those stories, you have a match, and then you have some awareness about something in your journey by listening to my journey. But it's all already happened. And I was thinking, well, I could talk about the future. And right before I started recording, I was like, I just don't know yet. I'm like, well, that's a great title for the future, isn't it? I just don't know yet. So the future's so unknown. Talking about that, I don't really know what to even say about it. So the only thing that is true and relevant and interesting in this moment is right here and what's happening right now. Because everything else is so unknown. So if you have a match to that feeling, I'm so glad you found your way to today's episode, because that's exactly what you're going to get. It's been just so much, right? This beautiful woman in the gym posted a video. It was of this young girl her face was all distorted by one of the Snapgram or Snapchat or whatever the filters are. And so her mouth was really big and wide. And she's right in front of the camera, and she's going, I'm so over COVID. I'm so tired of everything. I'm so I just want my life back. And you can just feel all the frustration. I don't know that's how, I don't feel frustrated about, we're really in presence. In this moment, let me analyze exactly how I'm feeling. It's not that I'm frustrated by COVID necessarily, because I do believe that it's an illness that is really hurting a lot of people. It's the decision making that is then rejected or counteracted by another decision maker, and the science that is then counteracted by another science. It's the back and forth of projected energy that is just being thrown everywhere. That is what is exhausting to me, and I don't know when that's necessarily going to come to an end. Yeah, that feels really true. And so what has been my journey mostly this week is trying to determine what to do with my business and my events and the activities I host based on the energy field that's happening around me, around all of us. finding some sort of, not quite middle ground, but like a really steady, centered decision that, honors everyone. That's a really fine-tuned dance to be moving through at this time on our planet. It takes a lot of focus and consideration, and then this deep, steadied centeredness in myself. Like, this is what I believe to be true for me, for my work in this moment, and then acting on that steadiness. And so perhaps that's why practicing presence is this feeling that I have for today's episode. When in each moment I can be fully here and feel what is happening in my body right now, and then trust that and speak to that, act on that, then every decision that I'm making feels in alignment for me. And if I'm moving in that path that is one steady moment, one steady choice after another, this aligned movement forward that resonates so well for me, then I feel like it's easier to not have regrets or not doubt the choices I've made, or look back and analyze and spin myself out into 20 doubts that take me down this little rabbit hole, or project too far into the future trying to prepare myself for the big decision I have to make at this date or that date. If it's right here, if everything I'm focusing on is right here and right now, then the path presents itself, the choices guide me in a certain flow or direction, and then I'm just constantly making one choice after another choice. So that's what that feels like, the energy or the message or the vibration that I would share with you. So I'll give you a specific example. Often those are helpful. I host New Moon Circles each month, where I have been for a couple of years, and they're in my living room in my house. I provide a meal that I prepare. People use my bathroom, they come in and out of my front door, they park in my driveway. Like, it's in my cocoon, my space. And many times there are strangers who come who I've never met before, who have heard about the event through Meetup or Facebook or through friends. And so my door is just open to welcome people into my home. And they've been beautiful and powerful, and this amazing community has been created around these circles, and friendships and business partnerships and alliances. Like, all kinds of things have flowed from this space that I hold. So when we went into quarantine, no gatherings of more than, I think, was it even 10 people when we first went into quarantine? I don't think, well, it was a stay-at-home order first, and then it sort of opened up to no more than 10 people. And so I've been sitting each month with, I wonder what next month will be, and should I do this again? And do I want to have lots of people coming into my home? Here we are with all of this science and conflicting data about germs and no germs, and what feels true. And what has felt true the whole way through this process until now has been to just keep my home for my family, and then for my immediate close friends or family who are coming into the space. And so it's been perfect. And what we have experienced and created along the way here, we have been working on our home and doing renovations that I've shared, and the energy field in my home is just so pure and beautiful and steady. And so when the quarantine was lifted and the stay-at-home orders were lifted and the group sizes started to expand, we just had a new moon last week, and I sat with it for a little while. Am I ready? Do I want to upset this energy field that feels so good right now? Do I want to bring anyone else into this cocoon that we are just thriving in? My family has just flourished over the last few months. It has been one of the most profound times in my journey as a mother and a wife, and I'm so grateful. So do I want to mess with that? Right? So I decided no for June. Nope, not interested. I'm not ready to upset anything. This feels so good. And I have also felt at the same time, there's this bigger community that I am part of, that I hold space for, this local community of amazing individuals that thrive also when we are connected in this way, and when I'm holding the space and we have these gatherings. So I've been going back and forth. And then I went I went for a walk with my friend last Saturday. And she asked about the circles. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. She's like, what? What is this energy that I feel from you? What are you talking about? And so I came home and just started going inward, right? This is the whole journey with Venus in retrograde. Remember that thing that we just came out of? Which is what I might be reading to you about. That journey into the underworld that we all took. Which is so good. It's been so powerful and liberating in so many ways, and also so emotionally intense for everybody. And so I'm in my questioning. Saturday, oh, and then also, right, we had a new moon, solar eclipse, summer solstice. Did I miss anything? Mercury went retrograde. Could we have more? It's like having all the planets go, ah, right in your face, like a Halloween scare, when you're at one of those Halloween haunts and you go around a corner and suddenly there's like 50 things jumping out at you and you don't know what's happening. It's been that astrologically, like, whoa. So I've been sitting, trying to be in the present moment, not analyzing how I used to do circles. What did they look like? How were they held? Not trying to go too far ahead. Am I going to have circles for the rest of this year? Do I want to ever have circles again? Are circles even meaningful, productive? Like, I don't know. Do people really expand and grow when they come into my space? I don't know. Right? Like, you go into all of it. I went into all of it. Sitting with this was the question my friend was pondering for herself that was so powerful for me. She said, I've just decided when I wake up in the morning, what is it I want to do? What do I want to do? And I've been feeling that as I feel into events, and I used to host retreats here, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work for not very much of an exchange for what I gave, in my opinion, and I would be exhausted, and the exchange was not mutually beneficial. And so I've been feeling for circles, like, what is it that I most want to experience? And if I'm simply creating these events and activities for the delight of it, for the joy of the gathering, what would it look like? And what feels in alignment for my community? It's not just about me, right? What about the people who would want to come and be in community? What are their needs? What most supports their expansion and their joy? And then feeling into that and coming back into balance within myself. And so, okay, within me, what choice do I make? As I practice being fully present right now, not analyzing the past, not looking far into the future, right here, right now, what feels like the highest choice for me and for all? So a lot of my week has been spent feeling into that. Of course, I have other things I do. As I say that, I'm like, sounds like I'm sitting, meditating about circle all day, every day. No, I wish. That would be awesome if I had that much time. Not that. But it's one of those underlying things that my mind has just been sort of moving through and bringing up thoughts and discarding thoughts and bringing up more thoughts. And it's that underlying decision that feels most relevant to make that then puts me into the next choice that guides me down the path. It's one of those big paving stones on the path that I'm putting into position. And it's going to determine how all the other paving stones are put down after this one. And so it's important to place it carefully. That's what I am sharing. I can see it. It's like this paving stone path with big paving stones and lots of little ones all around it. And where's the path even going? Right? This is what I had as a thought right before I started today. I just don't know yet. I don't know yet where it's going. uh, we are really seeing a surge in numbers of COVID testing positive here in Ohio, and so even as I make the choice, like, okay, I feel really steady about hosting 2 circles, and here's what it'll look and feel like and how I'm going to do it, and I'm ready to share that with my community. And at the same time, the rise in numbers of COVID would indicate that maybe we go back into quarantine, or maybe we no longer are allowed to have big gatherings, or maybe the fear is too great, people don't want to come together, right? All of these unknown elements are coming up at the same time that I, in my individual journey right here, am making a choice that then determines other choices. And so we can very easily get caught up in restricting or diminishing our choice options in fear of what may present itself at the time that we want to have that experience. So these circles I'm going to host will be in July, the 16th, 17th of July. Here we are almost at the end of June, so it's still several weeks away. I could not have that experience because I'm afraid of what may happen a few weeks from now that's still unknown. Or, in my steadiness right now, I make a choice that feels really good to me, that feels really in alignment. And I put that paving stone down on the path, and I anchor that energy in. And maybe the numbers will go up and things will happen and other decisions will be made. But in this moment, as I practice being fully present, determining for myself what feels like the highest alignment, I've made a choice. I believe when more and more of us are in this place of fully present, making a choice that feels so steady, so rock solid, and we're all honoring those choices in this moment. If you imagine there might be, let's say here in Cincinnati, I'm just throwing out crazy numbers, I don't know, maybe there's 1 million people in Cincinnati, and one person, me, practices this presence and puts my paving stone down. But all these other people are in the fear, and the fear elevates, and the fear becomes more powerful, and more fear creates more fear, and so suddenly the energy is really turbulent. Or let's say 1,000 people practice being present, put their paving stones down, talk to all the people around them about this thing that they're going to do that feels in such steady alignment for themselves. You can feel how the energy settles collectively. The energy is more grounded. The vibration just feels calmer. There's still turbulence, but it's not as spinny. So imagine, let's say we went from 1,000, let's say we have 100,000, 1/10 of the community out of the 1 million, all put their pavers down. Can you imagine 100,000 people right now, in this moment today, out of 1 million, putting their paving stones down on the ground and sitting on them? Sitting on them like I am and saying, I don't know about the future, but right now in this moment, this choice feels so good to me. I'm so steady in my body and my life and my choices and my relationships. I'm right here. I feel good. I don't know about the future, but in this moment, I feel really grounded and steady. You can feel what that does to the energy collectively. For me, it's like I can almost sense more joy at the edges of that steadiness, because now this community of 100,000 people are all going, hey, I see you sitting on your paver. Hey, I see you over there. Like, cool, let's wave. How you doing? Right? There's just a sense of really solid community that's grounded. It's not up in the mind. It's grounded down on the earth. And then imagine, crazy thought, imagine all of the 1 million residents of this area all sit down on their paving stones, and all the paving stones are bumping into each other because we're all trying to find a piece of the earth on which to sit. And we're all just in our choice, knowing that right now, as we practice being present, we're so steady. And we can, right, let our breath out and exhale and be here fully in. Can you feel how quiet and calm the energy field becomes? Like, wow. Wow, wouldn't that be an amazing reality where I don't need to agree with everyone's choice, but each one is honoring their own, steady in their own, and calm, not digging apart the past or trying to project the future, just right here in this moment, feeling good about this one choice. It begins with each one of us, right? It begins with me this morning going, I have no idea what to say. No idea. But I'm going to sit on my meditation cushion and I'm going to tune in. I'm going to record. And I know, because I'm steady in myself, that whatever comes out of my mouth is what most serves me, and it's what most serves you to hear. So I'm going to show up and I'm going to practice being present. It's a powerful shift. It's a new way of navigating life. For me too, right? I really like having all my printouts and my thoughts in order and my titles prepared. I like having a list of stories ready to share because it feels calmer to me to know what I'm supposed to say. Showing up and not having any idea yet is a little unpredictable. It takes a whole bunch of trust in myself, in the flow of the energy through me. Right? And I feel like that's what's being required of us here on our planet is, this is such a big statement, can we trust in the co-creation that is flowing through us as a humanity? Because there's a lot that looks very questionable, very dark, very heavy, very not what we would want to experience or not what we can believe others have to experience. There's a lot that does not feel in the best path, in the best choice. Yeah. This is a philosophical opinion that I'm going to share, apparently. I believe when we come as souls into human bodies to play on earth, that we are fully aware we're all co-creating with everybody else. I know you exist at a soul level. I know all the other billions of souls in human bodies exist at a soul level. And so we come to put on these human stories and characters and then create, do stuff, talk about stuff, make stuff, build stuff, destroy stuff, cry about stuff, laugh about stuff, get angry about stuff, right? We come to have these very human journeys. And if you imagine, this might be a good example, if you imagine like, maybe that's not a good example. I was thinking of like a hockey match, you know how the players, when they get out on the ice, step out as a team. Maybe it's the example because it's the one that's coming forward. So when you suit up, I don't know much about hockey, but I would imagine when you suit up and you get onto the ice and they close the door behind you and now it's you and this other team and you're on the ice, you're dependent upon all of those other players on your team to help you achieve the goal, and the goal is to win the game, right? So you're moving around the ice, coordinating, talking to all the other players, and you all have the same focus. Get that little puck into that net, right? Whatever it takes, get that to happen. And so the trust that's established within the team you build that over time. You build these ways of understanding each other's tricks and tips and nuances and the things that the one does that makes it faster, or the flaws another one has. You start to discern all of that. And then you get better and better at it. And eventually, you're almost telepathically communicating with each other, or one little look, and the one knows to send the puck over here and it's in the net, and you've won the game. And so there's this inherent skill building that happens the more time, the more practice, the more trust that's created within that team. And it takes getting out on the ice to actually make that happen, to build that, and then to celebrate that when you do get the puck in the net and you win. I see humanity on this planet in a similar way. We all agreed to come be in this co-creative game that's called life on Earth. We all agreed to bring specific skills, and we agreed at a soul level to come here and develop trust and develop abilities and share them and show up on the ice over and over again. And so if that is true, then as we are in this experience, everything is co-creating our skill. Everything is moving us towards the eventual goal. What is that goal for humanity? I think all of us, many of us, have different opinions. Is the goal peace? Is the goal unity? Is the goal material success? Is the goal lots of loving relationships? Is the goal to stay alive and healthy as long as possible, or to live a life that's so fulfilled that when you die, you're at peace? There's so many different goals. And so I believe our teams, if that's the right word, our groupings, our alliances are formed when we find those who have similar intentions or goals as us. If you find someone who is focused on, I'm trying to think of an example. Like for me, I love to talk about souls and expansion and soul gifts and helping people to step into their genius while they're here in the human body so they can give something back to humanity. They can share their brilliance in whatever way most serves them. And so my goal is to really empower people as much as possible on their path so they can create the life they really want. And so that's a lot of what I focus my energy and my attention on, thriving here in this human body, connected to the soul, allowing the mind to serve you, right, instead of dominate and control you. And so I have this goal that draws others toward me who have a similar goal, and so we're all moving in that same direction towards that place of inner mind, body, spirit unity. And so we create this team that is moving in that direction. Others want to focus on climate change, perhaps, or focus on there's so many. My mind is like, how do you even pick one? There's so many goals, so many groups, so many interest areas. And it's perfect. And also I think we forget that there's this one unifying goal, which is everyone gets to come here and have their own unique experience. Each soul coming into this human experience, this human journey on Earth, is allowed that individual play, that individual creation, that individual choice. The two words when I was getting ready this morning just kept coming to mind, like choice and intention, choice and intention. When we come as a soul here to Earth, we come with intentions of things that we want to experience and do and play and whatever. And then our choices all along the way help move us towards that intention. But we all agreed to do it together. We all agreed to honor each other as we did that. At a soul level, that's what we agreed to. It's part of what I believe the contract is. You want to come into the energy field of Gaia? You come here knowing everyone has a choice, and everyone has the right to follow that choice, including you, including me. But when you have so many people and so many intentions, it can get really loud and chaotic and messy. And we can get caught up in everyone else's intentions and choices and experiences and lose track of our own, lose connection to our own knowing inside, our own centeredness inside. And I don't believe that that's wrong. I believe that's part of the play, the journey, the learning. When we have this many souls in human bodies, we're getting stronger and stronger. Our capacity keeps increasing within ourselves of how much we can focus, how much we can stay focused, how centered we can get. We get stronger and better at it the more people that are around us. Until we have something like coronavirus or quarantine that says, everyone pause. I had this image, I don't know if I've shared this here, I don't think I have. I had this image when coronavirus was happening, and there was the day where they did the show must be, let's pause the show, or show must be paused. I had this moment where I could see like all souls outside of Earth who are here on Earth. Let's say they're watching the experience, part of the souls outside the field of energy and part of the souls here. All the souls outside of the field of energy of Earth going, everyone pause. Stop the show for a moment. Everyone needs to catch their breath. What is happening, right? Go inside, get centered, stop. It was that sort of a picture to me, like a referee outside of a hockey match blowing the whistle and going, everyone go sit down. Just go sit down for a couple of minutes and figure out what you want to do, because you're not playing together. You're not playing in a way that serves, each one's individual choice. So what am I trying to say with all of this? The biggest message, or the most powerful message I can offer you, is focus on your own inner awareness, your own practicing of being present in your mind, body, spirit, and trust how you're guided to move forward. And then do the thing you're guided to do. And know that every other individual has that same ability too, has that same invitation too. And the more of us who are practicing being present, the calmer this energy field is going to become. The more harmonious humanity will evolve towards. Because when we are present, like in this moment, as I am practicing just trusting whatever words are coming through for all of us, there's this acceptance that I feel of my experience, of your experience. The judgment drops away. There's more of a sense of like possibility or interest in understanding, right? I wonder why someone would make this choice to have this journey. It's not what I would choose, but I wonder why they would choose it. That there must be something really powerful that they're learning in that experience that they're walking right now. And so perhaps our hearts open a little wider and we go, I'd like to learn more. I'd like to understand what your experience is. How do you feel about that? How do you move through the choices that are presented to you? Let me listen. Let me understand. And then perhaps with that bigger understanding, I come back into my choice and I go, oh, I wonder, would I shift anything in my journey based on what the other person just shared with me? Is there something, now that I know that information, is there something different I would say or do or feel inside because of what I just became aware of? And so we're constantly expanding and evolving, even as we're being present and honoring our choices and listening to other people. But it's a different way to navigate than what is often presented to us, which is do what I say to do, or do what the rules tell you to do, or do what the science tells you to do, right? When we trust our own inner stillness, then there's this peacefulness inside, and we're not needing the approval and the grade, the stamp of whatever someone else would give us to say that it's okay. We know for ourselves, this is good, this is right for me. So how do we practice being present? I'm modeling it right here for you. You sit down. For me, I have my eyes closed. I have the phone in my hand. I've got my crystals on my lap, and I have a very quiet, calm space around me. I meditated before I started this recording so I could feel like my clarity within myself, so I'm not projecting any energy out at you, or the words that are coming through me I know are mine. They're not programmed thoughts or rules from other people. It's my energy just flowing through my body. So you can feel what that feels like in yourself. There's a great song that I read the lyrics to at the end of our energy gym on Tuesday night that you can look up. It's by a group called Walela, Walela, and it's called Wash Your Spirit Clean. And they just sing this, it feels like a hymn to me, but it just feels like it rinses your energy field, my energy field. It just, right, the vibration they hold and the sound of their voices and the words that they're singing, it just feels like you're getting this rinse through your mind, body, spirit. And so if you're feeling the chaos or the confusion or the unknown or the I just don't know yet that I had right before I started, I don't know what we're doing, right? If you have that feeling and you're trying to or needing to make decisions, then turn on that song, Walela's Wash Your Spirit Clean, and just imagine you can be rinsing yourself with white light, or rinsing yourself with spirit, or whatever your definition of purity and alignment would be. Just sit down, close your eyes, listen to the song, and just rinse. Imagine like a shower head over the top of your head, just rinsing you with this energy, clearing you out. And sit until you feel clean. Sit until you feel steady. And then lean back and feel support behind you, just like I am right now. I've got this really comfy cushion behind me, comfortable in my body. There's just this, right, expansive space. And then get really quiet inside. Feel what's happening in your body. Feel whatever your soul wants you to become aware of right now. Trust, like this is the decision that I need to make, and how do I feel about that? Am I in alignment with that? And then act on that choice and put your paver stone down and sit on it. Tell the people around you, like, here's the decision I've made, and I'm really not open to debate or arguments or questioning right now. This feels really good and steady for me, and so this is the choice I make. And if the co-creation now impacts you, let's have a conversation about how that impacts you. But we're not questioning my choice, right? My choice to have the circles was informed by my family. I just sat down with each one of them and said, how does this feel to you? And here's what feels right to me. Does this feel right to you? Is that a good decision? Because this space is our family space. Our family lives here. And so it's a co-creative energy field. But because I was so steady in my choice, they could feel that, and each one of them is like, well, tweak this or do this a little bit, but yeah, that feels good to me too, right? Like now we're all four of us sitting on our paver stones going, yeah, okay, Mom, let's go. Right? Time to get back to work. Like, let's do this. So it's just a beautiful way to make a decision, and it comes from that inner peace, that inner knowing of what feels best to each one of us. And when we're really lucky, we have these beautiful friends and people around us who reflect back to us and go, what are you doing? I feel your energy, and that's a mess. Don't do don't do that thing you're doing where, it's not serving you. Get clear. Get clear. Yeah, so I'm not going to read to you what I was going to because it doesn't feel necessary. But if you're interested, Astro Twins is an account that I follow on Instagram, and they just had a really funny Venus retrograde. Like, now what do we do? Now that we're out of Venus retrograde, what do we do? So they just posted a really funny little article that, or whatever you call it on Instagram, a little post in a writing thing. Um, so yeah, maybe check that out if you want. Yeah, okay, practicing presence. This is what it looks like. You just feel yourself in your space and allow the energy to move through in the way that feels in the highest alignment for you. And then trust that path. All right. I send you off into your weekend with a huge, huge hug. Now that we're out of Venus retrograde, I send you a big energetic hug. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Sunday mornings for an hour of meditation, visualization, and energy healing, where we realign our mind, body, spirit with Gaia and Source. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.